Brian Fritz here with Seth Rollins, one part of the Shield, as they get for WrestleMania 30. They'll be taking on the New Age Outlaws and Kane. So, ready for the big match already? Hyped up?
Yeah, man, I've been ready. You know me. I've been ready my whole life for this. You saw me. You knew me when I was just coming up and wanting to be here. So it's just an honor and a privilege, and I'm ready, man. Kane and the Outlaws. It's going to be crazy.
Is it tough for you to slow down? Because it seems like your motor's always like at 110% once you go through the curtain.
See, that's the thing. When through the curtain, I'm like 100 miles an hour, but like backstage and like in real life, I'm like a turtle, man. Like I walk at a slow pace. I do everything at a slow pace. I make a point to turn it off when I'm not working. So like I need that mentally and physically to kind of slow down a little bit.
What's tougher, to amp up or to slow back down once you're done with a match?
Oh, slowing down, no doubt about it, man. Sometimes you get done with the show, especially when we do the Raws on the East Coast where we don't get out till 11 and then we're driving to the next town for 4 hours and you're just like, you know what I mean? You're running on adrenaline. It's hard to get to the hotel, and sometimes it's hard to fall asleep, and it's hard to just decompress and turn off your brain and stuff like that. And we go home every week for a few days, and like sometimes it's just not enough time at home, man. It's just really tough to like have a regular life and have this life. It's like you're, what Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde sort of thing, man.
What's this run been like for you, being a part of the Shield and being a part of a group? Because I think prior to that on the independents, a lot of times you were working by yourself, and now you're part of a three-man group.
It's been cool to share the success with people. A lot of times, we look at this as a very individualized sport. Everybody's got their own success, and everyone's real selfish and stuff like that, and kind of wants their own stuff. But like, it's been awesome to share the experience with two other guys who I think really deserve it and appreciate it as much as I do. Life hasn't always been easy for Ambrose either, and we kind of cut from the same cloth. And Roman's just a hard-working dude with a huge reputation to live up to. So like, just being able to like travel the road with these guys who have the same work ethic as me and the same type of goals, it's really cool to like be able to share the experiences with them. And it also eases up a little bit of the pressure. You don't have to take it all yourself.
How difficult was that decision when you decided to leave the independents and WWE came calling, and then you have to go through their developmental system? Because you've already been wrestling for a few years, and there's always some kind of hardcore fans who are saying, don't do it, don't go.
It wasn't much of a decision for me. This is a place I always wanted to be. I knew it was going to be a hard road, and I knew going to developmental was going to be a little bit like starting over. So like for me, it wasn't a tough decision. Like I did a lot of the stuff I wanted to do on the independents. I spent 3 years in Ring of Honor. I won their world title. Like, I got to travel the world. I got to learn from literally some of the best wrestlers on planet Earth, different styles, stuff like that. And it was a privilege, but like I knew it was all a means to an end, and this is where I wanted to be. So for me, it was a no-brainer when the opportunity came calling, and I was able to fandangle my way into a developmental contract. It was like, all right, this is it for me. You know what I mean? I'm ready to go. So,
how different are you as a performer now compared to before you joined WWE to where you are now? What's the biggest difference?
What we do here is just a bit more Shakespeare. There's a lot of storytelling that's involved, and I think the difference now is I think about my work a lot more. And I think that's just a testament to the kind of work ethic that everyone has here, and the type of minds that are around, just the experience level, and like all the different perspectives from different generations that have come before me and stuff like that. There's so many smart guys here who have different ways of wrestling and methods and stuff like that. So it's just like having all that information at your disposal really forces you to be creative and really think about what you're doing on a daily basis. And I think that's the major difference. But not to say that before I just went out and winged it, but like there just wasn't you wrestled more with passion and not so much with your brain. So now there's just a different element. It's a lot different than what I used to do.
Is there anybody in particular, a veteran maybe you reach out to, or anybody that's taken you under your wing, so to speak, to talk to and help guide you as you continue your career?
A guy that's always had my back, a guy that's actually followed me a long time is Joey Matthews, Joey Mercury, Adam Birch, whatever you want to call him. He's always been a guy who saw potential in me from the very first time I stepped in the ring with him. We worked together for Ian Rotten in IWA Mid-South a long, long time ago, and he asked me then why I wasn't signed with WWE, and I was like, I don't know. I'm 21 years old. I don't know what I'm doing. Or, no, I wasn't even. I might have been like 20. I'm like, I don't know. But he's been instrumental in my career and really just kind of honing the way I think about what I'm doing. And he's been a huge mentor for me for a long time now, and continues to be to this day.
Roman's the young guy in the group when it comes to you three. How much does he lean on you guys when it comes to his progression?
Yeah, you know what? And I tell him this, and we joke about it, but the smartest thing the company ever did was put him with me and Ambrose, because when we met him, I mean, he's starting from scratch. Granted, he's got a whole family history in the wrestling business, but like, he's a football player, you know what I mean? He's an athlete, and he's coachable, and he's super athletic, but like, he gets it, like, he got it quick. And he understood right away like what we were doing. And I think putting him with myself and Ambrose, who had the wealth of experience and all the knowledge, and we travel on the road together. You know, we're in the car all the time. We're on the planes together. We're having the matches together. So like, he was just able to soak up that information that we were giving out like a sponge, man. And you can see the difference. He's I mean, he was great when we came in, but look at him now. He's a completely different performer. You know what I'm saying? So like, it was, like I said, the smartest thing they ever did, put him with us.
It's funny you talk about you guys even traveled together, because it seems like not only the dynamic we see on screen, but you guys genuinely get along together and like each other, right?
Yeah, we got lucky in that respect, man, because it's not always easy. It's and even, I mean, we traveled together enough that we all have our little idiosyncrasies and stuff that we, you know, it's just like, oh God, you know, you get tired of each other and stuff like that. But like,
when was the last time you yelled at one of them?
You know, we haven't gotten to like a shouting argument, really. We know when to give each other space, you know what I'm saying? Like, we know each other's limits and stuff like that, so we don't intrude. It's just really been like an awesome relationship that seemed to come together miraculously well, to be honest with you.
The thing that we notice now, too, in a lot of the matches when the three of you guys are out there working together is things are opening up a little bit more for you when it seems like your offense, especially, a lot more dives over the top rope. When did that really start incorporating more in WWE?
You know what? It just sort of happened that way over the past few weeks or months, really. Just being positioned the way we have been, working against the Wyatts. Like, sometimes a match, you know, I'm not one to try to force anything. And if it's there, it's there. And when you're working against guys like the Wyatts, like, for me, that's just the way it panned out. You know what I mean? They're just huge, giant dudes, 2 out of the 3 of them, and sometimes that's the only way to attack them. My offense just seemed to fit very well with what we were doing, and it's kind of been able to parlay that into some awesome matches over the last few months with other guys too.
How much fun has it been working with the Wyatts? Because you guys did that for a few months there.
We knew from the first time we ever had any interaction with them when we were in England last year that that was going to be a money match, and I was honestly scared that we weren't going to get to it at some point. Like, I thought we got away from it and we weren't going to get a chance to kind of have the war with them. But I'm super stoked that we got to do that, and like, I mean, anybody who was there or watched that first one live, you could feel the electricity in that one, man. It was pretty incredible.
So we're hearing more and more talk about when it comes to the inevitable day that the Shield's no longer together, but some people talk about, we think all 3 of these guys could be main eventers for WrestleMania. What does that mean when you hear somebody say that, like, you could be main eventing WrestleMania in the future, or people think that could happen for you? You
know, it's super flattering and humbling, but at the same time, man, like, I think you got to expect that to a certain extent to be a success, to do that, you know what I mean? I don't think anybody ever main evented WrestleMania by accident. So it's like one of those things where, like, that's what you want. That's what we're all working for, you know what I mean? Even as a tandem, you know, as a trio right now, we're all working for that as individuals. And no, you know, beef against those other guys, but, you know, I'd like to think I want it more than they do, and I'm sure they're going to say the same thing. So it's just like, it's just a beautiful sort of competitive spirit, you know what I mean? That it channels into some really awesome matches and some really passionate wrestling that you guys can kind of feel and see out there.
Thanks for the time. Seth Rollins getting ready for WrestleMania 30. The Shield taking on Kane and the New Age Outlaws. Keep up the great work, man.
Yeah, thanks, Brian.